Good morning, folks. Chilly New England morning. The allergies are starting to finally hit. The Culinary Compass video that we're about to pick up here is going to be from the point where the pork shoulder is on the grill. But before that, let me give you a rundown on what I did.
Alright, so basically I'm going to be checking this, I'd say every 40 minutes or so. And after about maybe 5 or 6 hours, I think this thing will be getting close to ready. So as you can see, while it's here on the barbecue itself, it's only been here for about 45 minutes, but already it's starting to develop a little bit of a crust, which is exactly what you want to have happen. You want a crust to start to develop. Okay, it's been about 5 hours, and for those of you who remember, I love to share with you my failures as much as my successes. Below this video is a video I did a while ago related to how to screw up your bread baking. But anyway, I'm kind of in the same vein here, is because I did a lot of things wrong, and as you can see from the outside of this thing, it's pretty well charred. It didn't really get the kind of beautiful crust. Well, it's got a nice crust, but it's a little too much carbon on there. So what did I do wrong? A few things. Number one is I went to a meeting. So I've been gone for 5 hours, just got back, and this is what I see. Mistake number two, I wasn't here to continue to add a little bit of water to keep some of this wood moist so it would burn more slowly, and therefore this would cook slowly. It got pretty hot in here. I suspect above the 200-225 degrees you want to cook a pork shoulder like this in. Now, I'm assuming this is a mistake, and from the standpoint of a beautiful crust, it's clearly a mistake. However, for a 4-pound pork shoulder like this, cooking for about 4 to 5 hours is just about right. Let's find out the temperature of the meat inside. With a basic thermometer that you use for meat, you insert basically into the thickest portion that you can get in. Now, since this has a bone on it, you don't want to be right on the bone, you want to be on the meat. So get that thing in there, and let's take a look at what we got. 140, 150, 160. 170. We're up to 175. It looks like it's going to cap out at about 180. Now, because this is a pork shoulder, the meat on the inside has so much nice fat spread out that this can stand getting up to 190 and not be dry. Now, if you don't want to end up with too strong a smoky flavor, you can leave this on to smoke for maybe an hour or two and then pop it in the oven at 200-225 degrees. Let's taste it though to see if the flavor's okay. Alright, well, test number one in relation to taste is whether or not it's moist enough that the meat is falling kind of off the bone, and this definitely fell right off the bone. Alright, that is simply delicious. Definitely too much carbon on the outside. But even with that carbon, I can still taste the brown sugar and the vinegar and the spices underneath it. I'll take a knife to this and scrape it down a little bit to get some of that carbon off. Just taking a knife and hacking into it and cutting chunks off like this. So you end up with all kinds of kind of pieces that people will then go ahead and eat by hand with barbecue sauce. So here's Olivia, who's doing the pulled pork method. I tend to prefer the chop method, but pulled pork sandwiches are on the menu for tonight. And as you can see here, we're just taking the hunks of pork and just grabbing them and slowly just pulling them apart, and you end up with this beautiful pulled pork. Pretty simple, and as good as you're going to get in any barbecue joint.
Thank you.
That's it for the Culinary Compass this week. As you saw, I made lots of mistakes, but the results, still pretty darn good. Bye for now.